Right, so I've heard deer, I've heard foxes make some really weird noises at night. But I don't know if you heard that. I'm not sure if the camera picked it up, but God knows what it is. It's quite a weird guttural sound. I'll try and boost it on the edit, see if you can hear it, because that is really weird. Did you hear that? Catch you guys in the morning. Right, so I've heard deer, I've heard foxes make some really weird noises at night. I don't know if you heard that. I'm not sure if the camera picked it up, but God knows what it is. It's quite a weird guttural sound. I'll try and boost it on the edit, see if you can hear it, because that is really weird. Did you hear that? That's quite eerie.
A pair of teenagers got the fright of their life following a night of wild camping when they spotted what they believed to be a wildcat eating a dead animal in a nearby field. Josh Williams and his friend Ben were making their way from Mermaid's Pool on Kinder Scout towards Edale on September 26, after a night under canvas in the Peak District when they spotted the beast. The duo were dumbstruck for several minutes before deciding to film the extraordinary scene. Speaking to the Derbyshire Times, Josh, 17, said, "We were both confused when we first saw it. We stood staring at it and questioning what it could be for around 5 minutes before I decided to start recording so that I could zoom in and get a better look. We tried attracting its attention so that it would turn and face us, so that we could get a better understanding of what we were looking at. We honestly had no idea what it could be if not a big cat. It was in a field of sheep with no different animals around, and it appeared to have a long black tail, so it definitely wasn't a sheep." They had just passed Jacob's Ladder when the pair spotted what they thought was a wildcat in a nearby field. Wildcat feeding on something like a dead animal. As well as looking upon what appeared to be a wild animal, the chilling sound effects convinced the two that this was more than just a pussycat. "We didn't hear much noise coming from the wildcat, just the occasional crunch, which made me think it was feeding on something like a dead animal, most likely a sheep. We could instantly tell it was something different the moment we laid eyes on it. We both saw it at the same time and gave each other a confused look. I could tell we were both thinking the same thing as the day before. We were actually discussing the possibility of us running into a wildcat whilst on our trip. The animals around it were seemingly unbothered, but they were certainly keeping their distance, as if they were used to this happening. It was eerie. The massive contrast to its surroundings gave it away. The jet black silhouette stuck out amongst its surroundings like a sore thumb. Teens didn't want to end up cat food for wild animal. Despite an attempt to get the animal's attention, they were reticent to get any closer, fearing they might become the beast's next meal. The reason we didn't stay for longer was that we had a train to catch and were running a bit behind on time after watching this animal for so long. It just remained in the same position as we walked away. We didn't shut up about what we saw the entire way home, telling each other it can't possibly be a wildcat. But then that also begs the question, what the hell is it? I was glad I managed to capture it on video after the event unfolded, as I knew that nobody would believe me if I told them I had seen a panther in the Peak District the first time I went camping. Michael has never heard a big cat before his trip to Derbyshire. YouTuber novice wild camper who travels around the UK and records videos of his camping trips heard a distinctive growling sound while visiting White Edge. The YouTube star, who has thousands of subscribers, has been passionate about camping his entire life and has been running a wild camping channel for the last 2 years. The 53-year-old, whose real name is Michael, said, "I was lying in my tent at night and recording a video, and I kept hearing some weird noises outside. It was like a guttural growl, but a bit distant, and then suddenly got really loud. I've heard many strange noises while camping. I've heard a rutting deer, which makes some horrific noises, attacked wild foxes and pigs. Every noise I can explain, linked to a creature that is local to the area. And although they may sound weird, you just get used to them. But this noise, I just never heard anything like it before. You could sort of feel it. When you hear a deep bass sound, you can actually sort of feel the sound as opposed to just hearing it. And the only thing that I could think of in my head was a big cat." After returning home, Michael started researching animal sounds, and all the evidence suggested that he had heard a big, wild cat. Michael said, "While I was in the tent, my head was telling me, don't be stupid, it can't be a wild cat, it's something else," that I sort of had to rule it out in my head because I would never get any sleep thinking that I was gonna get attacked by a leopard. So I just kept telling myself that it wasn't a big cat. But when I got back and started researching what that noise was, I've Googled and searched on YouTube every single noise of different animals, and none of them sound even remotely close. The only thing I could find that sounded similar were growls of big cats like a black leopard. The video, which Michael published on his channel, received around 600 comments, with many people saying that the growl sounds exactly like a big cat.
Right, so I've heard deer, I've heard foxes make some really weird noises at night. But I don't know if you heard that. I'm not sure if the camera picked it up, but God knows what it is. It's quite a weird guttural sound. I'll try and boost it on the edit, see if you can hear it, because that is really weird. Did you hear that?